What's up, guys? I'm BTC. I got a few things for you today. First up, there was a post over on the official PlayStation Brazil account yesterday that stirred a little bit of a commotion that supposedly had some new information on the release date for Overwatch 2. Here is the post right here, and it says, the translation, 2020 will be the year Overwatch 2 arrives at PS4, and to prepare, we talked to some of its developers who gave us hot information. Read the interview. Couple of things. First off, this tweet has since been deleted. Now, we don't know if it was deleted because they gave away information they weren't supposed to, right? Like, they accidentally gave away the release date. Because Blizzard keeps saying, we don't know when it's going to come out, we don't know when it's going to come out, all this sort of stuff, right? But there's a possibility, a decent chance, that Blizzard has kind of talked to Sony and to Microsoft and to Nintendo behind the scenes saying, look, this is where we are in our development stage, this is kind of where we think we're going to be with Overwatch 2 and when it's going to be released. So there's a possibility that some of these other companies like Sony have that information, and this account here accidentally put it out, which is why I deleted. Or it could simply be the case that they had bad information in the tweet, and Blizzard said, or someone at Sony just wisened up and said, okay, we got to take this down because it's bad information, and people are going to be really mad if we have this continue to stay up. Really, either one of those situations seems possible. Which one it is, I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. But as far as the hot information in the interview, yeah, that's not the case at all. It's old and cold and stale, because the interview that they linked is from last November. There's absolutely no new information in it whatsoever. So this is probably just the social media team trying to drive some traffic to their website and some of their older articles. Maybe they accidentally leaked some information they weren't supposed to, or maybe they just messed it up. I don't know. Moving on, something that we can expect to see is a brand new PTR patch. Just last night, Jeff Kaplan confirmed that they are working on a new patch. He wasn't able to fully playtest it, so he couldn't give out all the details, but in that, he did confirm that they are making changes to Baptiste's immortality field. He says specifically they're trying to make it feel less oppressive. Now, I don't know exactly what they're going to change. There's a whole bunch of things. They could reduce the duration on it. They could reduce the health on the drone itself. They could shrink the area of the field. There's a whole bunch of things that they could do. One of the things that I think would be a terrible idea would be increasing the cooldown. Now, there's a couple of different ways that has been suggested. You could just fully increase the cooldown and bring it up to like 25 or 30 seconds, or they could make the cooldown start after the drone has kind of disappeared itself. Both of those are not a good idea, because then you're starting to have an ability with a ridiculously long cooldown, kind of just like what Mercy has with Res, and I would rather have it be weaker and used more often. The game of Overwatch is pretty fast-paced, and having these abilities like Immortality Drone or Res that are on these 30-second cooldowns, it just doesn't really match or mesh with the flow of the game. You should be able to use abilities far more often. I've said this before, I would rather have them replace Res with something else, give Mercy something that she can use every 5 to 8 seconds or something like that. Just have more stuff that the character can actually do. Having these super long cooldowns on these abilities, it just doesn't feel right with the game. We already have abilities that are used quite infrequently and have long cooldowns. They're called ultimates. So you don't need to have normal abilities that have a cooldown that is almost as long as an ultimate ability. Right now, the Immortality field has 200 health, a 6.5 meter radius, and an 8.5 second duration. Really, they could drop any one of those. I think that would work fine to kind of limit the effectiveness of it. Again, I just don't think it's a good idea to have these super long cooldown abilities, because it just doesn't quite flow with the game. Jeff Kaplan didn't give any indication on when the patch might be happening, but they do like to drop patches on Tuesday, so it's possible we could get something later on today. They also like to drop patches on Thursday when it's PTR specific. I don't know why, it's just, they like Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's just kind of what they do over at Blizzard. But as soon as the patch does drop, I'll be sure to make a full breakdown and let you guys know everything that's in it. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Also, come hang out in my Discord server and my Twitch live stream. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see what kind of cool VIP rewards you can get, check the links down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault.